Now I see it.
There we
Hey,
go. I see it down.
hey, y'all. Hey.
Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, y'all. Good evening.
Hello, everybody. Y'all, Miss J said she had her drink. Kayla out. She doesn't have one, but I got mine. So we can celebrate on
I'm
here as
finna get
well.
one. Hold on. Just give me. Hey, y'all go ahead and get started. Give me 5 seconds so I can get. I'm at the airport. I'm finna find me a drink. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Probably
So
okay.
yes,
All
guys,
right, y'all get
y'all.
started. I'm finna get no suitcase and walk over. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, we are still celebrating, guys.
Look at that.
Not
Yes. Hey, Miss Jackson. Y'all so funny. Y'all
y'all.
so funny.
Yes, guys, we are still celebrating. We are still celebrating. Did you? I know Kayla's getting situated. While she's getting situated, Miss J, did you get to watch any of the jurors yesterday? Did you get to watch any of that?
I did a full rewatch today.
Oh, you did.
I did
I
a full
didn't watch the
rewatch.
end.
I watched all of it. Actually, because when they did the plea deal earlier, I watched that live, and they were like, "Can we get together and rewatch the jurors?" Because I told everybody like, "Don't talk to me about it yet," because I have not seen
Right.
it. So once I did that, um, we watched the whole 3 hours together. We binge watched it. So yeah, I just put my
I got
little
like the last 30 minutes to watch.
listen. I was fancy. I'm not going nowhere. If I tell y'all why my makeup look like this, y'all gonna laugh at me. Y'all gonna laugh at me. Y'all know I be over here having problems, okay? Um, but I'll say this. After I talked to you last night, I woke up this morning and I seen a bunch of messages from Thugger Daily. And he
Hmm.
kind of was like on the fence about the jurors,
About like their knowledge.
about whether or not maybe they saw like
Thugger
social
like me.
media.
Thugger like me. I'm on the fence,
Yeah,
but
it was on the fence about it. And my my thoughts were, do I think they went and looked? No, but have they seen? Yes.
I like that.
Like that. I'm not saying they went out there and absolutely went and looked for it, but how can you miss it?
Mm-hmm.
So
The
I like because
algorithm. The algorithm.
the algorithm, but my thing is like you got to put it out there once for the algorithm to bring it back, right? Because for us, YSL is this big old world and it's a constant all day, every day for us.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of TikTok, YSL is this little tiny microcosm in the TikTok world. And sometimes we don't realize that because we've been in this world for quite a while now, at least 6 months for some of us. So, but I always like to say, like, even if I think I'm big stuff on TikTok or something, my granny was quick to remind me, I ain't never seen you on no TikTok. And it was just like, they was like, yes, she do be on there. She was like, what's her page? So if she's not in that algorithm, it's not gonna come to her. You know what I mean?
I
But
said the same thing.
but she know who Woody is because she shared a meme talking about her supervising to get off her back. And it was Woody saying, "You got me all discombobulated. You got my pressure up." So she's using the Woody meme. She just don't know where it came from. So
Yeah.
do I think a Woody meme or 2 or 3 or 10 came past them and they was like, "Oh, that's dude from the truck." Do I think that happened? Absolutely. Do I think a 20v1 came past their YouTube? Absolutely. Do
Yeah.
I think they went and got some information? Not until they typed in that Juror 387.
I was like, I need to type in Juror 37 because she was like, she got something to get off her chest. I said, shit, did I say something? Let me go find Juror 387. I need to go back. I need to
Right.
go back and go check out what was going on. But I definitely enjoyed it. I was like, they really made me feel like I've seen this so many times on social media. A jury of your peers. It's exactly what all three of them made me feel like. Even though they gave their opinions in different ways, definitely a jury of our peers, even the alternates. 508 is like my little friend in my head, okay? Because 508 had hollering, but I just enjoyed that people saw past the BS that the state was trying to put out there. I mean, the fact that they said half of the overt acts were social media posts. Oh God.
They said, I'm not convicting nobody to life off no Instagram. But they had the right to do it. They had the right to do it. And they were saying, not me. And I said that this deliberation was going to be a tussle between the heart and the mind. Because in your mind, you're reading the piece of paper that says you can do it, but your heart is not going to let you do it. And they're going to have a problem with that.
I don't know if D-Body saw it. D-Body, they said Montauk was one of their favorite people. They said
508 is Mrs. Jefferson. Listen, that's about the 50th time I've heard that today. They said, Miss Jefferson, go watch that video. 508 is you. We gonna watch it with go live. 508 is you. I said, listen, when she said, oh, what you talking about, baby? I said, listen, I don't know. I might have a little 225 in me because when she said she got back in that deliberation room and almost had to go upside somebody's head before deliberations, I said, yeah, I can see that too, because we saw them and they said we were the three amigos because everybody else was so different. So even though that's the part that we've seen, we've heard the other alternate.
So I'm interested too, because they were saying like they were making statements that make me feel like there was definitely some other opinions in that room as well. So I'm interested to see those other opinions too.
But what did I tell y'all?
I
If you
just
get loud mouth,
I just want to say,
me. Go ahead, Kayla.
oh, I got to love y'all because I'm at the airport 3 hours early so that I could do this and be seated. I used to get to the airport 15 minutes before my flight because I got pre-check and clear and global entry and sky priority and a million miles because YSL done drove me crazy. But I'm seated and ready.
Look at this. Kayla said, "What y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening?" She said, "What's up? What's happening?" You've been waiting. Listen, everybody, y'all been asking all day. I said, now we do WTF Wednesday. Y'all had me feeling a little shaky this morning. Like, why I think we doing it? Well, why wouldn't we be doing it? Well, let me call and check.
Listen, I was like, we better be doing it.
Well, we talked about it at 2:00 in the morning. Me and Mel. We was on live on TikTok. Y'all know I couldn't sleep.
I bet. I ended up going to sleep. I popped in for a second and tapped, and then I was like, went to sleep.
You did pop in for a hot second. Were we listening? What were we doing? I'm like,
I think you were just talking about different points of views and stuff like that. Y'all listen.
We got Kayla, of course, questions. They got some questions for you, but I want to make sure I ask Miss Sheila's. Her specific question was kind of what are you taking care of right now? Because we did see on Thugger Daily that you're trying to resolve some of Shannon's charges, some of Yak's charges. So as much as you can, what has to happen now?
What has to happen now is I'm logging on the computer. Hold on. And getting off the phone. That's what got to happen first.
But while she's doing that, Gray Bones, that was a big thing to me that I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was surprised. And that question from Gray Bones was said, what about finding out that Love never went in there and spoke or addressed those jurors, even thanked them for their time, their patience, any of that, just never even walked in the room. And I would love to pretend that I'm not surprised, but I'm just like, you just not. She's just not gonna.
I'm gonna do something so messy when I join. I'm gonna see if y'all catch you.
I just she just will not.
I know if nobody catch it, the millionaires don't catch it. And I'm looking at the text. They don't put me on the game.
Hold on.
Yeah, Cheers. Touche. Okay, touche.
I'm having technical difficulties.
They said you better listen. One thing y'all can't say is Attorney Kayla Bumpus gonna be working, because I don't think I've ever seen this many updates about Kayla from
Do you hear
Thug
me?
Daily ever. Not even with the Woody, not even with the rumors, not with nothing, but every move attorney Kayla Bumpus Jackson makes is noted. I'm talking about I swear I was up later than usual when I popped in Mail's live. Like, I ain't tapped my girl's page today that I can remember. No, usually I know what I saw of you. I'm like, let me pop in this live and get to tapping, because I gotta make sure I show some love. I wake up this morning. I said, nah, I know that post wasn't on there. Why he up late night? Like, oh yeah, he been tracking you. He got the Viverito tracker on you, because he been posting everything. I said, working.
Working. And I didn't even know. Look, so they was on me because it had so many typos, y'all. I was typing that thing from the jail because they was giving me some, little issues at the jail about attorney of record. Okay, I can't go into it till he free, but I'll give y'all the tea when he free. So I had to go to my car, and everybody will tell you around Fulton County, like the older lawyers, they'll tell you I'm the e-file queen. So I could e-file anything. All I need is a cell phone. If I got a cell phone, what you see, Mel?
It's something else. It ain't nothing about this. It's
Oh,
okay.
okay. Don't scare me like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, I'm typing it up so I can go in because I had received the first offer to discuss with him. How else I'm gonna tell him? I can't call him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna tell y'all about that. Y'all gonna love that story. But I don't need no target on nobody back, so I'm not gonna say nothing right now. Long story short, what I'm supposed to be answering.
You're supposed to be answering what's going on. Like, what is it that you really have to do as far as their jail charges? Because I think I saw Thugger post that Yak got into a fight, and he has the egg assault, egg battery, and it was one more thing on there. I can't
It's
remember.
an
But
inmate possession.
okay.
So he has a few different charges. I mean, this happens with, I would say, 80% of my clients. And I would say 90% of my clients with gang charges. You can't go to Fulton County for over 3 months and not get another charge. It's virtually impossible. And I keep arguing with, well, I have been instructed by a very great attorney that I'm not allowed to be on social media for a while. I mean, I can do this, but I can't talk until he's free.
Right.
So I can't really tell y'all, but I mean, I'm gonna just say in other cases, I have a lot of clients who will resolve their case, but they're not going home because they're stuck with a jail fight or an incident that has occurred. And a lot of times, okay, I can tell y'all this. So a lot of times it's a global resolution. We're not beating them in trial. It's not animosity, it's not tension. So it's like, hey, we're going to do this, but as a result of this, we're going to dismiss all the jail cases because we're getting our probation, we're getting our conviction. We don't care about that. So a
I
lot of
wonder.
times it's all wrapped up in one. So they do get to go home. Now, every now and then I'll get a more serious one or something that's assigned to another judge, or but usually, like I said, there's work around that and it's all resolved at one time. But because there was not a plea and there was not a meeting of the minds and there was no resolution, they don't care. And my argument today in negotiating was they are safer on the street than they are in that jail. And
Absolutely.
not even just from violence. I'm scared of so many scenarios.
There you go.
I'm scared of more charges. I'm scared of it turning into a situation where it just doesn't stop.
The sad part about it is, and I know this is a very lay way of looking at this, you ain't have enough evidence in the first damn place. So if you ain't got, they shouldn't have been in there. And if they should have, if this is the evidence you had and it resulted in a not guilty, that means it probably should have been a bond. Therefore, if you would have left them out there on bond and they did something and got themselves in trouble on bond, then okay. But you can't even control the conditions of Rice Street. Y'all got a damn hole in the building they flying drones through. What do you think is going to happen if you don't have enough food, you don't have running water, and I'm sitting in Rice Street and want a Pepsi? I'm paying that drone to bring me a cold Pepsi. I'm sorry. If my child is in there and they're 17 and I hear that DOJ report, I'm buying somebody a cell phone to call me about my child. It's different. To me, after I watched that Rich Homie Quan footage, and when I say there was no pep in nobody's step to get towards a hurt person.
We're talking about Lucci.
Lucci. I said Quan. I'm sorry, Quan. Lord, rest in peace. I'm talking about Lucci. They did not move any faster. They did not run after him. They did not get to him. They did not, none of that. So they're not safe. You can't keep them safe. And to be honest, I don't believe that I feel like y'all want something from them.
Well, I'm gonna also say this too about that. I mean, my biggest argument today was, they are candidates for bond because had they not would have gotten discharged, they would have still been out on bond, and Yak wouldn't have walked out free. He wouldn't even have had a case.
Right.
And I did have a funny joke that I said, well, he's made it 3 years without getting a gun, being around a gun.
I know they was like, it was like, bitch.
No, this is a good person.
Oh, okay. Right. But this is
a great, wonderful, amazing person.
I just feel like right now, anybody trying to hold them any longer than they've been held in this situation, it's based off of feeling and not fact.
Well, no. He made great arguments. I got to give it to him. I mean, he is someone who is very reasonable, and he shares a lot of our sentiment about a lot of things, but he does have a job to do. And I tell people this all the time. I cannot be biased just because of who these people are, but
right.
I was a prosecutor. I have seen judges sign consent bonds. I have seen judges release people thinking that it was a good idea, and they go and kill someone or unalive or whatever I'm supposed to say. But that's a high risk. And, honestly, I know you guys may not believe it, but all of the ADAs and all of the judges have not been following this. I'm updating him on things that he had never seen or heard of because he's actually working. So I'm like, do you remember? He's like, what? I'm like, yes. And, so in some of them, and I'm not saying this person in particular, some of them have the same feelings we have about certain people.
I believe it.
So I can't even say, what I can say is I think it's completely unreasonable and unfair for me to ask someone in the district attorney's office, go pick this file up right now, give me a bond in 24 hours.
Right.
It's unreasonable. That has nothing to do with him. YSL has nothing to do with him.
And it's not even a part of their world. They got their own caseload and all the stuff they're handling. So I definitely get it. My only thing I don't like, and again, I'm not as reasonable as you. And I feel like if I'm Yak, I got staples in my head. You got it back in blood. Let me out of here. We even. Get me out of here. You ain't protect me. I obviously at some point have to protect myself. Get me out of here. Like, isn't it? Somebody staple my head together. Get me out of here.
So, Kayla, they asked, so what do you think is a reasonable amount of time for this to happen?
By law, 10 days notice is required for most bond motions. You have to give the victim notice because of Marcy's law. You can't take a plea without the victim knowing. And these crimes have victims. I don't anticipate it will take 10 days based off of conversations, but I do not know.
Right.
I mean, they're just doing their job. They are doing their job. And I don't think that, I've had to have some tough conversations with some people. And
Tough ain't the word, honey, because I wouldn't have no understanding. Where
I
the
can
key?
appreciate
You don't
it.
have who got the key? Hand me. Give me your shoes. I'll wear your shoes. Give me them blue things I had on. I'm out of here. I'm out.
I
You
can
could wear
appreciate it.
around.
Yeah, I
I
can
got some
appreciate
too.
you being like seeing it from both sides. Oh,
I got some too.
I can't stand you sometimes. Oh my God. Listen, get me out of here, please. But I can only imagine after hearing going through that situation, just the reactions. Every time somebody asks me to replay that video, I still get emotional because I'm like, I don't know what else to feel. Like that right there, I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous like my ass was sitting over there. I listen, that this a year? It's been a year. Like it's been coming up in my Facebook memories from me posting about this case. And I'm just like, it's been a year. So I can't imagine sitting in Rice Street for 2.5. Like I just and then they tell me not guilty and I'm still sitting in Rice Street. Yeah, I don't have no understanding. I don't
But
have
and I say this for a long time, he kept asking me, "Go do it, go do it, go do it." Please. So when this happens, because he was so confident, I don't have to go through this. But my biggest fear, and Mr. Kendrick too, before any of this had happened, they had reached out to me, helped me with what we call free world charges, and so I had already told him I was going to do that before any of this came about, and
no.
my biggest fear was that they would take that and use that against them as, look, they even admitted to committing crimes while in the jail. My biggest fear was a reindictment with more overt acts. My
Well,
biggest fear was resolving it in a way that was not beneficial to them.
and not only that, we know that whole spiel that Love went through for months trying to add all of their new anything new. She even made a comment one day like if they have a phone call today and it's furthering the enterprise, it can be added.
Hmm.
And I said that woman was looking for anything, everything. I feel like at that moment, we kind of knew there wasn't much of a case because it's like you're trying to add on, you're trying to still keep writing the story, and nobody can figure out why. And I mean, I guess now we know. I guess now we know why. I guess now we know why. Like,
Well, I am so we haven't you guys haven't told me you haven't told me your moments. I showed you mine. So
oh
I
well,
guess.
I can tell you my moment. And the crazy thing is, did y'all catch the other eye roll the day before the verdict? She rolled her eyes at Maurice again. But
she can't stand Maurice. I don't know why.
her down.
Well,
She
I
can't
would say
stand him.
this. I was gonna say. I said I wasn't gonna say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say. Oh man, I don't know. Should I
You want
say?
me to just play my? You want me to just play mine? Because mine is for the day from the day before the verdict. So if
Well,
y'all
my
just
my situation is from the day before the verdict
oh
that
okay,
I would like to talk about.
go
Now,
ahead.
how about this? I won't say who did it, but I'm gonna say y'all know sometimes when I be talking on the jail phone to somebody, I'm not gonna tell y'all who, but I be like, "Hey, Viverito. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Simone." I gotta say hey to them first. But anyway,
You know they
I'm just
haven't pull them calls.
yeah. So no, long story short, so I'm standing outside the courtroom, and I know a lot of people have been asking me, how come you haven't been in the court? I do be at the court. I don't have to put everything on Instagram and Twitter, and so I don't got to do that because number one, I'm at court for work. I've been in about 12 different courtrooms this week. It's about 5 pleas, from 5 to 7 to 3 to 2. But I'm standing outside the courtroom, and a young lady walks up to me. And she decides that it's a good idea to put her hand on my shoulder and look me in my face in front of a lot of people. Yes, I did just pop my lips like that. So I saw your Instagram story and I thought it was hilarious. And walk into the courtroom. Now, sweetheart, I really wish you would have just walked into the courtroom and proved your murder and stayed off of my social media. But unfortunately, you couldn't do that. The Instagram story was the man, I'm not going to tell y'all who it was, but the Instagram story was the man saying, well, how we say, I'm not GD playing with y'all.
God damn it, I'm not.
God damn it, I'm not.
That one.
I came in here to play around with
I
y'all.
put that on my Instagram story. I didn't say who that pertained to.
We all know who, man, listen.
I saw your Instagram story. I thought it was funny. Yeah, because you knew it was true. But we see who were playing with who.
Listen. And the crazy part is to hear that that's exactly how that landed on some of those jurors.
Exactly.
Why are you talking to me like this? Why are you just now talking like this? Hold on. You are, and then the fact that they took it personal. Oh, so you're trying to convince me. Like you think this is how you got to talk to me. And it was just like I
was bothered by it. I was bothered by it because I have maintained that I feel like she could have gotten what she needed to get. She could have gotten it across to the jury without doing that. She hadn't been that way this whole time in trial. Like that's not how she operated. And I felt like she overdid it.
She has been like that. We didn't catch it. Woody said when he ran up on me in the hallway trying to talk all hood, Woody clocked it.
She's had spurts, like little small moments, right? But we had to hear it for 2 hours and 53 minutes, 57 minutes.
2 hours and 57 minutes. Like we don't have to home too.
She could have gotten her point across without. I'm telling y'all, it reminded me of Miss Love read at Thug's plea hearing. Miss Love emptied the clip at Thug's plea hearing, baby. She read every lyric she could with all of her might.
But to me, it was just that that situation was so antagonistic because I don't know why you messing with me. I could post what I want to post on my social media. I didn't put your name, but even if I did, I done had this lady blocked on Instagram way before this trial just because they do too much. So I just want to know. So now you got a fake. How did you even see my story? What's going on? Like, and you gotta get up in the morning and come answer the jury questions. We don't know if you said clean or cleaned. You don't want to clarify if it was Boyer or Stillwell. You don't want to do none of that, but you want to come and touch me on the show.
That is my moment. I could not believe it. I could not.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Jefferson. Play your part.
Oh,
I'm feeling some kind of way. I ain't even had nothing to drink.
Oh shoot, mine gone. Okay, it's on there whenever you turn it on. You got to bring me up to present.
I got to do it from my phone.
Okay. Okay, y'all know I got to play this. Do it. Okay, here we go.
If the state doesn't want to agree with that, then I think the appropriate answer is there is no conversation between Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Garlington referring to going to the scene or a city.
Or can we just play the call?
You can play the call, but it is incorrect. I mean, it's entirely misleading to let them think, okay, here's your requested conversation between Stillwell and Garlington, and not say, by the way, the evidence that is before you does not show it to be a conversation between Stillwell and Garlington. It shows it to be a conversation between DeMarco Boyer and Garlington. So if you're not okay with that, then I will do the answer that is suggested by Mr. Sharp.
No, Your Honor, we prefer that you just clarify that it's a conversation between Boyer and Garlington.
Okay.
That right there, and I know it started, hold on, where my little echo thing at? That right there, that just said, oh, we're going to play dirty to the end, baby. The fact that they knew that that jury was absolutely confused in that moment. I got scared. I was like, what else are they confused about? They obviously don't know who that call is between. And for you to say, oh, we don't have to clarify that that wasn't Shannon. Let's just play the call they talking about. Like, didn't even want to clarify that the exhibit number that they gave was a text message between Huey and Thug, and the call that they connected that to, and the call that they connected it to wasn't even Shannon. And to know that the jury was like, nah, we don't need to hear it because it's not Shannon. Like, just gonna play dirty to the end, man. Dirty till the end.
I think that's exactly how I feel. Is that
Go ahead.
I just felt like, damn, we're right here at the verdict, and this is your opportunity to like be ethical. And they said, no, damn that. I just couldn't believe that Love actually stood up and suggested that let's just not tell them who's on the call and let's just play. I thought Paige said misleading, unethical, and they just was gonna do it to the end.
And it's just almost like that let me know right there what I said months ago, and people got on me. I was right. I'm going to take that pat on the back. I was right. I said, you don't get this far by being dumb. She has figured out somewhere in these 15 years how to exploit loopholes, and she does it. So when we kept saying the jury is going to be confused, why are they presenting it like this? Why are they saying stuff like this? Why are they jumping around? To confuse the jury, because all the jury knows is to focus on the people that they can see. And therefore, Shannon right there must have been Shannon he was talking to. He always talked to Shannon, must be Shannon. It wasn't even Shannon. It wasn't even Shannon. And as you can see, the call meant nothing to them without Shannon being on the other side of that phone. This woman is no dummy. When she realized that those jurors were confused, she stood 20 toes down on her feet and Hilton's and said, now I said it once, and she said something to me, now you say it. And then Hilton repeats it. Can we just play the call?
Like, girl, I said, why did you
even in the closing, how she just sat there cheering her on, like I couldn't believe it. Like she was like a proud. I thought we was at a dance recital or something. She was like,
yeah. And the jurors hated the ones we spoke to hated.
Imagine the deputies saying, "Can you please stop making faces to you?" I mean, how do you take that? You should have known then you lost. So speaking of this, I would like to segue into something from the beginning. This is when we should have known.
For the course of being called upon, but that's my personal opinion. But as it pertains to the question that you represented, there's nothing that clouds my judgment or anything that interferes with the court case.
Okay, so let's go back to that personal opinion. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Personal opinion is it's been a long, drawn process, and we got an email. I've been sitting around for a very long time. I'm not used to sitting still for a very long time. I'm used to moving around, of course. I'm active, so I just like to keep things on a timely manner. That's just how I am. I value time extremely serious, and that's my personal opinion.
Given the length of the case thus far and the length that it may go on for, is there anything about that that you feel is more any party's or anyone's fault than another?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right then, they should have knew Juror 56 was tired of playing with them.
Been done. He was done in the beginning. For the simple fact that you don't respect time.
Don't respect, and when I actually went to his Instagram and stuff, I can definitely just kind of get a peek into the person. I was like, oh,
plays no games.
He wasn't playing with them.
Zero.
Mel, your turn.
So I can probably describe my clip better because I'm having a hard time pinpointing it right now. My WTF moment for this week was actually 2, and it all stemmed from the second hearing, the status hearing that we had. First WTF moment was, first of all, can we talk about how happy Paige looked during the moment? Like I actually was at that part. She was smiling. She was just so friendly. It's almost like she was relieved that that other case was done. But she mentioned that Abate had been left at the table. Abandoned. She mentioned how he had been
very late in the game. You came very late in the game.
Very late in the game, much like her.
Like me.
And I said, they left that man by himself.
That was petty Paige. That was petty Paige.
She told Eppinger's attorney there are about 1 million Dropbox links, but I'm sure he'll consolidate them into one. Oh God! I said, oh.
She said, "There's no reason why all the discovery. You just had it. We got it. We got all the discovery. We got all the Dropbox links. We got everything you need." But Petty Paige knew she had told Maurice, "Keep the camera on me because they were not dressed out. Keep the camera on me, but you can catch the audio." So the fact that she knew that camera could not move, and she sat there and used the words "abandoned" at the table, all by himself.
I'm at that big table by himself.
It reminds me of what's her name? Sophia off the Golden Girls. Picture it since 1942. She set the scene. I said, "Oh, she done left the people."
And you know, I love for a scene to be set. And thank you, Paige, because I can just imagine him sitting at that table with his little laptop, just that with that buzz haircut, just looking at that table. Because in the hearing today with Mr. Winfrey, in that hearing, Baby Hilton's head was down at the computer the entire time. Oh, my friend Jimmy
they
comes
pulled my comments up the second he opened his mouth. Oh, Miss Jefferson, can he read us the book on Sunday? He can just read the book.
See you, girl.
Oh, we need him on mail channel. He got to come to mail after dark.
They need him. They said they need him. They need him.
Middle name Carlton.
Oh, the filler.
We're started over.
You got to turn it up some. You got to turn it up some. Start it over.
I can't turn it up no more.
Jimmy, J as in jam, I as in igloo, M as in money.
Can you state your true, correct, and legal name for the record, sir?
Jimmy, J as in jam, I as in igloo, M as in money, M as in multi, and Y as in young. Middle name Carlton. C is in currency, A is in Atlanta, R is in rich, L is in long, T is in Tommy, O is in options, N is in Nancy. The last name is Winfrey, W is in win, I is in incomplete, N is in Nancy, F is in free, R is in royalty, E is in entertainment, and Y is in young. Jimmy Carlton.
That was entertaining.
That was creative.
He had Paige at that moment. He got her. He got her.
You could hear her smiling. She said that was entertaining.
You were great. She didn't know what to do with that. She didn't know what to do with that. When that man said F is in free, I said, "Come on now. Currency, Atlanta, royalty."
Somebody said
F is free. Say incomplete.
He did say incomplete. He ain't finished yet.
When the I is in glue. I mean, all the letters, nothing was like, he didn't keep anything the same. He said Emma's in money.
This is normal. He practiced that. Y'all can't tell me.
Listen, he wasn't playing. He came to put on the show. He said, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Y'all ain't gonna see me again. So let me give y'all something real quick.
And that didn't have, I'm telling you, nothing was the same. Emma's in money, Emma's in Motown. I said, what?
Motown.
C as in currency.
R as in
royalty. So I tell y'all, Anna's in long. Then women said, "What do you mean long?" Then women was go. I said, "Y'all pay attention."
He growled a little bit. I said, "Growl."
Who's talking about? Tell him I'm S as in single.
Listen, I said, y'all. I couldn't even look at the comments no more because I was trying to pay attention. I said, "Yo, he just spelled this." I said, "Listen, that boy practiced his affirmations in the mirror in the morning."
F is in free. Somebody said he would have really ate if he said F is in free, R is in Roscoe. I said, oh, he would have been
free Roscoe. Ain't that the merch that they had on? Free Roscoe.
He didn't think that through. I think he was going off the top. Off the top. It was just he was just going off the top. Okay. That's it. That's just how it was.
He just entertaining. That's what he do. He said E is an entertainment.
E is an entertainment.
And that was entertaining. I don't say very creative.
Okay, so that was entertaining.
He had Paige by the hair. He had her by the hair. She was smiling.
My God, they said they thought the second end was for nasty. Girl.
See, he had him. He had him. He had to go through that middle name.
He had them at the first word.
As soon as he opened his mouth, oh, I expect that voice. I said, oh, this is getting ready to be a long plea. This is getting ready to be a long plea. Y'all not gonna let me get through this. But what I will say is they said, what's her name? Attorney Miller. I said, Hilton, if you back there, since you back there at the little kids table at the dinner, I'm gonna need you to pay attention to how grown folks show up in the room.
I loved her in that little short time.
Word that everybody had everybody's respect. She said, I'm gonna get a few things on the record. I'm not having no conversations with y'all outside of here. We're gonna put this on the record. Now he got to do his business. But I said, that's how you show up in a dang on room.
And then I love how she made sure to use some big stars, some big celebrity names. If, for instance, we're in an arena with Kendrick Lamar, I said, girl, you better sell that man. Yes, ma'am. You better sell that man. Like, please don't.
Lawyers have to talk to Thug's lawyers.
His Thug's
lawyer. She said she put him out. Let me tell you who he is.
Do we need to speak to a third party? I need him to be okay when he's doing it. I said, yes, ma'am. I loved it. I appreciated that. I liked her for the little time we got to see her. I loved it. I think
we got some great attorneys coming up on this other case, y'all. Sorry,
man. If you don't know, now you know, because even though we couldn't see them,
and they already know what time it is, they not playing with nobody.
I said that. I said they got a hunger and a passion in them, and this case has turned into it. I said we don't know how many times that they've had or they have thought that there was an ex parte somewhere, or they thought there was an issue going on and they just couldn't prove it, and nobody listened to them and nobody could hear their screams and their cries. And now the world is watching the very people that may have given them an issue at some point. Oh, they're ready. When Eppinger's attorney said, how soon will that transcript be ready? I said, oh.
This is really what I was trying to play at first. Because I want to say, this how we know from the beginning. This is crazy. I got to take y'all back to Glanville. This did not sit well with me.
I'm going to ask the state their issue on this. Are you cutting this out? Did you have discussions with Mr. Sharp, madam?
We did have discussions.
When?
Well, this morning.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. The evidence is excluded. I'm going to exclude because I told you that this was going to happen. No. We're excluding that. And I'm going to exclude the PowerPoint that you all submitted. Well, you're not going to wholesale introduce it.
We had no intention. Your Honor,
all right.
Let's be real clear. We did not intend to introduce this PowerPoint today. I personally reached out via telephone and called at least 2 members of the defense team and asked them to call me back. And I would like
but you all should not be identifying this stuff the moment of trial while the jury's sitting in a box. This is the last. I am not going to tolerate this any further. If you don't get together with your colleagues and flag issues and resolve them promptly, and if I have to take them up, remember, I can exclude them. We'll work the weekends, or we'll do a combination of both. So this time, I'm going to exclude those 2 sections.
Your Honor, Mr. Atkins, he confronted this witness with those sections. I last week let them know that we were introducing that.
If the exhibit's not ready and you haven't made and you.
It's ready
No. Well, Mr. Shart's got objections to it.
But Judge, Mr. Sharp can get in and have our evidence excluded every day that he makes an objection
No.
at midnight, and then comes in and says.
Well, then you all should have gotten your stuff together before then. Summon our juries, please. Summon our juries. Have a seat, madam. Have a seat. You better exclude that, and next time, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're prepared next time. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just not. We are starting right now. It's 1:20. So
we have talked to them. We have said we don't agree.
Then file a motion and get it before me, and we'll take it up. Both of you all have equally responsibility to do that. Oh, it's going to be inadmissible right now.
I'm saying, Judge, that you said to file a motion. There's nothing.
I'm not going to have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not. I don't. Well, you know what?
And I attempted to try to talk to them earlier this week.
Well, then that's why we have to.
So the court punishes the state because the defense.
I'm not punishing anybody, but but prior preparation prevents poor performance.
Be prepared, Judge. That's why I sent them what I sent them last week, a whole week and a half ago, 2 weeks. Your
I'm
Honor.
not. Well,
and I have said I would like to discuss.
Our jury's coming in, madam. Our jury's coming in. Have a seat.
I can't. I mean, like, she was literally screaming. Her voice was pitched. He said so many times, I'm not going to keep doing this. Have a seat. She never had sat down. No candor for the court. No.
Never had to show she never had any, because that was back at Glenville before a lot of people were even watching. She was a mess. She was a mess then, and she turned into a monster. This is why she runs through that court like that. He let her keep talking, but he gave Brian Steele 20 days. Like,
and she never tried that with Judge Whitaker. Never,
not once. Not once. I'm reading.
Kayla, all she did was pass Hilton and Atkins notes so they can talk to Whitaker because she knew better. She knew Whitaker wasn't playing with her.
She was tearing them Post-its up, buddy. She was flying through them.
It's love an alcoholic. I'm not sure what's going on, because to me, it's just like, one of the things, I was having a conversation. Everybody in that courthouse is so happy for them boys. Every courtroom, I had to go to court, so I was in different courtrooms. There was one courtroom, we stopped the calendar call and everybody clapped. Everybody was, that verdict went through that courthouse like crazy. And it's just sad that I keep asking myself, because I can't process that they actually sat there and thought there was any possibility a guilty was coming out. I can't process that when the whole world knew there was no way.
I think they did, because I think it was like for some of us that kind of read the RICO for what it was and the description that they gave. And I'm like, hold on. So you're going to make a pattern out of some people that may not have even been charged just because you call them a co-conspirator, and then would add a couple social media posts to that, and these guys sitting in front of them are guilty. That scared me so bad. I was like, what is going on here? You really think that should be possible? And then even when I thought I was wrong about what I was reading and how I was understanding it, when the first thing that came out of Simone Hilton's mouth was, even if you don't like the law, it doesn't matter. You have to follow it. So these people are going to have a tussle between their heart and their mind, because this ain't right. Then after that, your next slide says you have a duty to deliberate. So if one of y'all think y'all going to the bathroom and not deliberate, I need y'all to tell a deputy. What are you saying? Like, I was so glad when I heard some of those people say, I'm not convicting anybody on an Instagram post? Because it sounds like that there was that one alternate juror sound like that she was all for it.
And
that
also
is scary.
They said that they thought that the state painted Jeffrey in a light where he pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
Listen, but I'm glad that somebody saw the same thing we did. Like, and I love, oh God, I hope on her many page investigation, I pray Viverito come across them ladies live of it somewhere, because when they said she blew it, when she said they were a gang, but there is no hierarchy, there is no leader, and in a hybrid gang, they don't have to be one, and everybody can be a part. I mean, she blew it. She lost us. I would love if, since Whitaker liked to assign training videos, I think they should have to sit through that video of them jurors talking about everything they did. They didn't believe not one of your so-called gang investigators. They didn't believe not one piece of this was even cohesive, like y'all like to use for this whole year. All they believed is this was a group of friends that knew each other forever, that everybody was doing some real individual shit, like, and you had an eye on Thug.
They did not like Vito
at all. I don't, but that's the crazy thing is, I think that's the one thing every side of this case, no matter what people believed and who they believed or what side they may have been leaning towards, I think at the end, everybody agreed that Viverito wasn't it. No matter how you felt about the case, about the guys, nobody could look at Viverito and say, great job, great witness, I respect what she do. I don't think so.
Strategically, do you even use Viverito on your next case? Like, do you even use her? Because I'm thinking y'all may need to cancel losses because she's not it.
But who else they gonna use? Who else about to stand up there and stand behind her work?
Count your losses. That's what I'm saying.
Y'all gonna use Hogan?
Oh, are you gonna use Hogan?
With the possibility of Steele's or Blaylock's appeal coming back by then? Like, that was the other thing. What if this appeal goes in Blaylock's favor? That's y'all can't use that as an overt act anymore. I think that Whitaker meant what she said when she said, I'll see you by December 17th or sooner. And after she said that, next day Jimmy Winfrey is in the courtroom. She said, do something about this and do it fast.
Let's do it.
They just don't want to.
I just think that I am so thankful that the jurors have given them to a second chance at life. I really hope that we can get them out as soon as possible. But it's so disheartening and it's so discouraging to see, because what you guys did not get to see is the reaction of the family. Oh,
I heard about it.
The deputies tried to tell them, because Judge Whitaker had already said, stay seated, wait till I adjourn court. But they went crazy. And it's a complete misjustice to make them have had to sit through that. But I was also a little confused because it was my understanding that they didn't even believe that those boys had done that.
I was about to say, I feel that pissed me off more than anything, because I got a notification from somebody that was in the court, or heard from somebody in the court, that the Drinks family had ran out. And from prior things that we had heard from at least the aunt was of the understanding that I don't think the state knows what happened to my nephew, so I'm not going to blame these guys. So my thing was, what did you go back and tell this family to make them not only think, not only hope, but make them know in their heart that these men were absolutely responsible? What did you do? What depths of hell did you go to to make these people believe it in their hearts. And I think it was that damn FedEx video in the way, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Don't pay attention to the mother cars, just this car. This is when it happened. Don't pay attention to the medical examiner. Viverito said it could have happened. Conscious don't mean unconscious movement. She sold that, and they bought it hook, line, and sinker to the point where they let go of logic and grabbed hold of Hilton. And that dang on performance she put on, looking like Ronnie O'Neal, screaming and stomping in front of them, that family bought it at some point. So from that point where they talked about the Drinks murder to that prosecution got them. They activated them. They put the battery in their back and riled them up. And I said, this is a second time you didn't call this family down here to be disappointed like this. I would have never came back down there again after you had them there for Nichols. Why would you have them there for Nichols and you deleted the murder off of him? Did the same thing at Thugs. I would never come back down there again. And like I was explaining on one of my lives yesterday or the day before, like I went through an unaliving trial when I was 23. Somebody I was dating was unalived. And when they get down there and they talk to you like that, you have to remember that's them folks' job. This is their job. Yes, they care, but they care to an extent. They don't care the way you care, because somebody like me would have never offered a plea to somebody I felt took my loved one away. They'll get to a point where they say, well, some justice is better than no justice. They don't really care. But see, if you can get me to care enough and I get the battery in my back, that's where the emotion comes from. That's where the outbursts come from. That's where the tears come from. All the things that they're not capable of because they don't care like you do. That's where all that comes from. So they went and said some things to that family that I feel like they should have had to take their ass out there on them steps and explain to that family exactly why they did what they did. That was for emotion. They set them people up, and that's not fair. It's not fair. I've seen some people put stuff in there about that other video. I don't blame anybody's family member for feeling any type of way. I know there were things said about bloggers and social media caused this and all of that. I don't blame them people, because when you're emotional like that, nobody can tell you how to feel. Nobody can tell you how to feel. I just pray that one day they're able to come to a point where they get back to where Drink's aunt was. It's nobody's fault but the state. You knew you didn't have this. You overpromised and you underdelivered. You knew you did not have this. And even if you thought you had it, you can't control 12 human minds. You don't know what those people are thinking. You should have never promised anything. And she probably had them people down there with prepared impact statements. They probably had them people down there prepared to finish these guys off for them, to be the icing on the cake. And they never prepared these people that it could go either way. And now you see the response. I just pray at some point, obviously those people were a little too emotional, because I'd have been at somebody's car. You're going to talk to me. You can skip them jurors. You can skip these cameras, but you're going to talk to me. You're going to talk to me. I ain't going to say what I want to say, but somebody needs to, you would see me about that. You would see me about that.
It's just a complete tragedy. It's a complete waste of money. It's a complete I mean, everything about it is sad. And then you don't even address your constituents. You don't even address your jurors. You don't even get up and say, we fought hard. What's really odd to me is that elected district attorney Willis thought that it was appropriate to respond to a stranger from Germany.
Sure did. She sure the hell did. Isn't that eat?
But we can't get a response. Come on now.
I forgot about that damn email. Yes, she did respond to them people from Germany. And responded in just proud of love. Like that's the even crazier part. But at this point, like these people, I don't know. How much does it cost? How much did this cost? Like, seriously, this court case, you spent, I'm going to say, probably millions of dollars investigating and trying this case, and you got time served on a pum pum.
And I'm sitting there, y'all, like, oh my, I already knew what she was gonna do, because when she told them people that, are you saying clean versus clean? I knew immediately, oh, we're gonna get the what you call the conviction, and it's gonna be probated sentence. I knew right then she was done. So when she read that first, I said, okay, cool, everything else would be not guilty, but we're gonna have to do a sentencing hearing. Miss Mama said, we're not doing no sentencing hearing. We're not coming back. Y'all about to go ahead. Look, you don't got to go home, but you got to
get up out of here. But when she said, are you standing on that? You want me to give him the maximum? Cool. I had the power to probate however much as I want to. You ready for sentence? I said, listen, I said she getting ready to do exactly what she did to Thug. Y'all want, I'm not putting that on there. You want me to get this man 40 years and do 25 or whatever it was? You want me to give him all this time when y'all was ready to take the RICO and the leadership off? No, take it off. Y'all was going to send him home today, right? Send him home today. Like, she's making them stand on what they do in the dark. And even though we may not have understood it all the time, it may not have seemed the fairest all the time. Like, honestly, whatever complaints I had about Whitaker and still may have about Whitaker, whatever qualms I may have felt about Whitaker, I will say from me, Whitaker was a godsend to these men. Can you imagine what this would have looked like under Glanville to finish this out?
risk 10 years in prison. 10 years in prison, even this way. First of all, we wouldn't even been here. We would still be looking at club videos and music, listening to songs and watching looking at that same picture of Shannon standing out that window. I don't ever want to see that picture.
That woman was a godsend at this point, and I just truly believe that when she was handed this case, she was told they just don't like the way I'm ruling. They don't like what I'm doing. They're complaining, and these are a bunch of bickering adults. And she got in there and handled them like that at first, like she was going to show who was the boss. And then she started to realize your case isn't even ready. What are we doing here? You mean you didn't handle that already? What did Glanville rule? It wasn't ruled on. Why is this even in here? We can't mention it. Why is this case connected to this one? What are we doing? And when she did that, I said that's when she started to understand that whatever they told you this was, it's not. It's not. And you're going to have to find a way to get through this, because you can't stop this again and try to let them get their case together. And I think that was a shots fired when she said, oh, don't worry, they got millions of drop boxes. It's already separated. It's already, because if you think you about to walk into this next case and think we're going to take days off to help you finish your case, oh no, you're done. You're done. And when those people said they haven't received any discovery on the case since they were severed, oh baby, the files they get ready to get. The files that they're getting ready to get. Oh my God. And when she told them people, listen, if we do go to trial in February, 90 days. 90 days. That's the maximum. We won't be going past that.
Yeah. And I believe she's gonna stand on everything she said like she did the whole time. Because she stood on business.
I don't believe she really want to go past December 17th. I think that she gonna have a problem. She gonna have an attitude again if she don't see a plea deal, what she gave until 5 p.m. on December 13th. If she don't see decent plea deals coming through there by the 13th for everybody, and she do have to set a trial date for February, she gonna be pissed. She gonna be pissed. If she wants them to
and if you know how hard it was to find a jury for these, how they gonna find a jury?
They ain't gonna.
How are they going to find a jury that don't know about this?
That hasn't made up their mind about this. Not just the guys feel a way about love, feel a way about the state, feel a way about Glanville and take it out on the next judge. Or honestly, if I was a prosecutor, I'd be afraid that the next jury would just be like, well, shit, the last jury said not guilty, so these are the same charges, these are the same people. They can't do anything new. It's the same dang on case. They didn't tailor it just to Shannon and Yak and the other guys that were in there. They talked about Garlington. They talked about everybody. So they've already seen your case. Like, anytime Eppinger's lawyer is like, let's go, you should be very afraid, because Eppinger did some shit. But he said, listen, I ain't no Rico, and I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm reading these chat.
I was about to say, the question I just saw.
I'm reading some of this stuff. I'm trying to find some good questions to ask, but answer y'all ain't talking about nothing.
This is a mess, y'all. This is a mess. How do y'all feel? Did any of y'all watch anything about the second trial? Y'all ready for the second trial? Are y'all interested in the second trial? So I'm an independent. Well,
they busy hating on Kayla. They sure is. I don't know what's up with the hate today.
Wait, why are we hating on Kayla? What's going on? Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I won't be. I want these guys to have their freedom because they've been locked up probably about as long as the first set. But I'm not gonna be mad if I get to see that next set of attorneys wiggle. I'm not gonna be mad if I get to see that. But I want that to be those guys' decision. If they don't have to do it, or it's a personal decision. I saw a lot today about why would Jimmy Winfrey take a plea.
And that was another thing. Sorry to cut you off, Miss Jefferson, but Woody, that's another person. Are they bringing him back?
Well, they got to, right?
If I were them, I would leave Woody where he is.
But how do you prove it? We have figured out that Woody's interrogation, Zachary's interrogation, and Viverito's investigation is what they're standing on. Everything goes back to one of the three, at least.
You got to regroup, just like Paige told them today. You're going to need to regroup. They need to go back to the drawing board. And if you can't fix your case, you're going to either drop charges or plead these people out. I just don't see them bringing these same people up. Those attorneys, Eppinger's attorney, I heard you. Y'all know I'm doing something right now, but Eppinger's attorney sounded like he was ready to go tomorrow if they wanted to. That's scary considering what we saw about Eppinger in the case. The fact that he is not afraid. He like, when can I get the transcript? The case just closed yesterday, sir. He does not care. That should be scary to the state. He's talking about ready to impeach witnesses. Who you ready to? Yeah, no. It should be scary. That man is ready. So if I were them, I would regroup, go to the drawing board. If you don't see a case, baby, you better figure it out.
But Mel, we have seen that their ego trumps all.
You're right.
Anybody else would just go ahead and tuck their tail and say, you know what, my bad. I'm not even gonna piss this judge off like this again. But what else can they do? I'm just saying, like, to be honest, I'm asking now. I'm really asking. Without Woody, without Zachary, because that was a mess with him on the stand, and then without Viverito, what can they do? There's no way around it. What you gonna do? Put Thorpe up there and let him talk about Viverito stuff? He can't even talk about his own stuff. Yeah, what you gonna do? Put Gaither back up there? The last thing they want to do in life is put Gaither up there and let her be cross-examined by Garlington's attorney. That's going to be the biggest crock of mess.
Squirrel Brain ain't getting up there, baby. He done ruined his stuff in this case. Squirrel Brain. You mean a juror's not gonna know that he's Squirrel Brain? He not getting up there, baby.
What they gonna know? He didn't tell a lie. I believe Woody a lie, but you can't tell me one lie that Woody told about nobody in Fulton County.
The juror 225 felt like me. She said Woody may have done a lot of lying in the interrogation room, but I think he was trying to tell the truth on this stand. I said the same thing, so maybe we both fools. Anyway, Woody fooled us. He fooled us if that's the case.
I just want to know, where's the watch?
Oh God, they said Viverito got it.
Well, my thing is this. Now, the jury has said there's no RICO, there's no racketeering pattern, there's no enterprise, there's no gang, there's no drugs. Now y'all got to give his stuff back. What do you do now? Because we know you at least missing the watch. And if Megan Grout find another damn payment out that civil forfeiture fund, y'all can't tell me y'all got that $149,000 in cash.
And Miss Elected District Attorney Willis has also been found to not be in compliance with that, to be in default
with the Open Records Act. So she got 5 business days, well, 4, because that was yesterday. So she got 4 business days to come up with the receipts on the money she gave her sneaky link, and Megan Grout then found some of them out that fund. I just don't, just let this go. You can't, there's no way you go in front of the powers that be and say you spent this much money and all you have to show for it is time served on a firearm charge. That's all you got. All you stood in front of that, your campaign stood on, you was getting the gangs off the streets, drugs off the street, you was lowering the crime rate, you was getting these people out of here. And if you gonna put a confession to a beat and to find out that you didn't get not one piece of that, not even that $25 weed sale from a minor.
This ain't music. This is a confession to a beat.
She was so everything she stood on, the jury said, nah, this ain't that. Y'all can't spend that much money, these people money on this no more. Fonnie had a bad day yesterday. Yesterday was a bad day.
It was. Oh, and I thought it was very interesting that the jurors didn't know about the ex parte meeting.
They had no idea. They had no idea about the ex parte. They had no idea that Steele was low-key arrested and brought back in to be turn himself in on Fridays. They had no idea that, and Moontoon, they said, was one of the most believable testimonies. They had no idea that Moontoon was in jail. And they had no idea why the other guys left. They thought Glanville was sick. That was another big thing to me. They just thought Glanville was sick. They had no idea that he was disqualified.
I'm not ignoring. Why are y'all saying I'm ignoring y'all? The chat is moving really fast, and I'm trying.
He's flying. Y'all
put in the chat. I do have to log off, but I'll see y'all later. And I done had a great time on WTF Wednesdays. Rock out with my girls. I'm gonna call both of y'all later.
Okay, y'all. Actually, I'm getting off too because I gotta go get on my plane.
We 12 minutes over.
Right.
Oh, okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for joining.
See y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for always tuning in to WTF Wednesdays. Thank y'all for all the support and all the love.